Treatment of a habitual offender. Prevention is necessary for such children. First of all, we should identify such juveniles and thereafter give him treatment. They will become habitual offenders if they are not timely prevented from committing the offense. The most effective way to prevent juvenile delinquency has indisputably been to assist children and their families early on. Numerous state programs attempt early intervention and federal funding for community initiatives has allowed independent groups to tackle the problem in new ways. The most effective programs share the following key components. There are so many jurists and criminologists who suggest many provisions for the prevention of juvenile delinquency. Some of the provisions are very useful for the welfare of the juveniles and their development. Delinquency prevention is the broad term for all the efforts aimed at preventing youth from becoming involved in criminal or other antisocial activity. Increasingly, governments are recognizing the importance of allocating resources for the prevention of delinquency. Prevention services include activities such as substance abuse education and treatment, family counseling, youth mentoring, parenting education, educational support, and youth sheltering. So, preventive programs of juvenile delinquency. There may be two kinds of prevent programs for preventing the juvenile delinquency. First is the individual program, and second is the environmental program. In the individual program, it involves the prevention of delinquency through counseling, psychotherapy, and proper education. In environmental program, it involves the employment of techniques with a view to changing the socio-economic context likely to promote delinquency. These two forms of preventive approaches are reflected in the following strategies which are adopted in crime prevention programs. Clinical program. The object of this clinic is to provide aids through psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, psychiatric social workers to help the juveniles delinquents in understanding their personality problems. B. Educational program. The impact of educational institutions are very significant in the countries where almost every child going to school and preventive program can be launched in an effective manner through the schools. Teachers should not discriminate among the students. They should be treated equally and provided the moral education which is very helpful to the students for their lifespan. Moral education is significant factor for the students which decide their life. They should be able to understand the difference between right and wrong ideas which are favorable for them and which are not. C. Mental hygiene. This method is also helpful in prevention and treatment of juvenile delinquency. To prevent the mental conflict and to bring about a proper mental adjustment in childhood and value of mental therapy in curing a mental disturbance cannot be overemphasized. The mission of life must be determined and energies must be directed towards the fulfillment of high mission. Development of high sentiment and values in child also prevent juvenile delinquency. Then, parent education. So, every community should ensure opportunities for parent educations, which will help making good homes, improve family relationship, and education and care of children. Some educational programs inform parents on how to raise healthy children. Then, recreational programs. So, the recreational programs are a good check on delinquencies. Recreation programs enable youths to mix up with other adults and children in the community and develop friendships. Such positive friendships may assist children in later years. Youth programs are designed to fit the personalities and skills of different children, and it may include sports, dancing, music, rock climbing, drama, karate, bowling, art, and other activities. It is believed that the energies of youth can be very well channelized into pursuits like sport games and other healthy activities which will counteract counteract delinquent among the participants. The establishment of recreational agencies like sports, playground, community centers, concrete drama, puppet shows are very necessary for preventing the delinquency and developing social group with youth groups. In rural areas, recreational agencies should provide open air meeting halls, playgrounds for sports and cultural activities. Young organizations and groups agencies should take and assume the responsibility for organizing these programs so that juvenile may be kept away from delinquency. Last, removal of inferiority complex. So inferiority complex, fear, apprehension may sometimes lead the child to commit crime under wrong and misplaced belief or impression of proving himself. Children deserve encouragement to become confident and good spirited person. Discouragement pulls them behind in their life. They should be properly they should properly to face various good and bad phases of life, and their failures should be criticized. Praise, cheer, sympathy, and love should be showered to banish inferiority complex. Environmental program. First is community programs. The basic aim of community program is to reach the people in need of help instead of people approaching the workers and agencies. Another significance of this program is that the participation of the local community is considered to be more important, and role of professional leadership is sought to be kept at minimum level. Marshall B. Clinard has outlined the key supposition of these programs as followed. First, local people will participate in efforts to change neighborhood conditions. Second, and they do not accept an adverse social and physical environment as natural and inevitable. 3. Because self imposed changes in the immediate environment will have real significance to the resident and consequently will have more permanent effect. Publicity. This method can also be very useful in preventing the juvenile delinquency. The newspapers, magazines, radio, television, and motion pictures, etc., should show the juvenile delinquency in proper perspective honestly, and should also present real reports about the various wrong done by the juveniles and analyze its true causes, and also protect the juvenile against false and misleading reporting. The actual position should be presented and also protect the juvenile should be presented and produced before the society about their delinquent behavior so that they may be properly assessed. Parental love and affection. So the child needs unconditional, immediate, and true love, care, and protection of his mother and father. On account of deprivation of such love and care, the child may develop frustration and dissatisfaction leading to crime. So, parental love, care, and protection is very necessary for the child to prevent him from committing or doing the crime. So, the parental love, care, and protection is very necessary for child. So, exploitation of children has been a long standing practice. This delinquent go through a lot of abuse, which vary in nature as physical, sexual, or psychological, or as a combination. The abuse has a long lasting and profound effect on a child's life. The problem of child abuse is a serious one, and it is unlikely that it gets solved any sooner. Also, the reason why this has prolonged is that the society has affected the children in a negative way, and in the society there are factors such as family influence, social environment, mental disorder, sexual abuse. This develops in young people: low self influence, social environment, mental disorder, and sexual abuse. This develops in young people such behaviors. So, what needs to be done is the question that arises before us is we cannot uproot this menace, but there are solutions to keep a control on the problem of juvenile delinquency. In the best interest of the delinquent, he or she should be rehabilitated as early as possible and integrated back in the society. Also, the state must protect the rights of these children and come up with reformative methods and instill in them values that can socially uplift them and give them a newfound confidence so that they can play a constructive role in the society. That's all. Thank you.